It's Monday, the 22nd of May. I'm your host, as always, Jonathan Giles. I'm joined this week by my regular guest throughout this season and since the show started. Eamonn Donnelly, how are you, pal?
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, John. I'm missing Side of the Century there. I was watching it the instant style there on Anglia TV. Nicholas Parsons there. I could have won a Ford Capri if I wasn't in this show. How are you doing? All right?
Not too bad, pal.
We're all okay. Yeah. I see Dave O'Leary was there in the in Uppy side Ado yesterday. Did you see that? Do you notice that?
See that now?
Obviously, at the end of the day, I'm back working in the club. I might make another appearance there. Yeah, make it 724.
He's like John Mealy. He sporadically comes back when he wants to. Also joined by John. Welcome back, John. Here are you.
You know, yeah. Getting the odd call now and again, yeah. To be here.
John, you get the call when it's important, pal, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, I'll take
when called upon, he answers the call. Thanks for coming on, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, great to have you both back on, lads. You can catch our show as always on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel, Spotify, where all our episodes from January onwards is all uploaded there. So we're getting a good few listeners in on Spotify as well lately, so happy days. Also catch us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as always. Thanks to Martin Stumble for editing this week on week and uploading daily content to the Dublin Arsenal page on YouTube and Instagram. It's been a huge help. We're up to 3,010 subscribers now on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel, so it's really grown over the last 9 months, and thanks to all our listeners and viewers and the guests that I have on weekly. Without yous, and there wouldn't be a show, so thanks very much, lads, for the last 9 months. Check out our sister show, Beyond the Last Man with Martin. I'm not sure when he's going to get a show out. He's lacking guests at the moment. I know Lottie has her own one, Vic Acres Wonderland, so when she's finished trying to rival us, she can come back anytime. Check out her sponsor, Balon Sports Direct. I don't know whether you have checked it out, lads, but it's good quality gear there, so check them out. And check out our friends at justarsenal.com. Pat McLaughlin is doing a wonderful job as well, so thanks for mentioning us on Twitter when the show goes up, Pat. If there's any ticket going for Wolves, leave it in the comment box after this. Catch all the matches throughout the season in the River Bar. Big thanks to them over the last 9 months for putting up with us. It's a great venue, John will agree. Great atmosphere in it. Was it busy on Saturday, John?
There was a decent crowd in.
Yeah.
Mix it in with the big rugby crowd. Obviously, there's a big rugby final on here in Ireland on Saturday. But we had them down to ourselves, and up for the first 15 minutes, it was quite boisterous. And then, as you can imagine, it fell flat. So, yeah, with a good crowd in as always. And it's great to see everyone when they do turn up.
Yeah, it's been a great venue, hasn't it, over the last couple of seasons for us?
We've been getting it's a great location.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, it's a great location, and hopefully we'll be there for a good while yet. Last week's stats, lads, 99 views, which was a good show. Myself, Eamonn, Craig, and Matt were on last week. I really enjoyed it. 6 likes, and as I said, we're up to 3,010 subscribers now. We've doubled our fan base on our Facebook page. Martin just told me there on Wednesday. It's been doubled since last season, so that's a nice one that fans are looking in on us. A shout out to as well, Neil Egan put out a good comment. Enjoyed it last week's show, and he seems to be a regular listener.
Yeah, he's a good pal of mine, Neil. He lives in Germany. He's a top guy, you know.
Yeah, we're going to try get out a jersey to him, you know, in an Arsenal fan pack, because he always mentions us in the comments, and I appreciate it.
He'd love that. He's away in Germany. He lives in Munich, and you know, he listens to this. He looks forward to it every week. You know,
Does he? That's we're doing something right. Even when John comes on every 6 months. Neil Egan, tonight or night, John's back.
I know Neil as well, so yeah.
Yeah, Neil Egan was best man at my wedding.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that was I think that was 1962.
That was Dave and Deirdre's wedding, in other words. Just like to say, our Arsenal fan quiz, or sorry, our Arsenal quiz and the season quiz is coming up on Friday, June the 2nd. So if any listeners or viewers, we're going to try get the quiz out to you as well, amongst ourselves as well, the guests that I have on week. So it should be a good one. Carl has done a good quiz one again, he said to me. So hopefully Tom Selleck will be in somewhere in that.
Seaman or Selleck.
Seaman or Selleck, yeah. We had a good laugh at that actually last weekend. Yeah, that was a top quiz. That actually we got over 2,500 views on that one for that one back in March. So it seems to be content fans like. So hopefully we can get the fans involved in this and even make it bigger. We're going to have another one at the start of next season as well, just to keep it interesting, you know. So we've got next week's show will be reviewing the Wolves game and going over May goal of the month, player of the month, and all that. And then the following Monday, we're going to do a review of the season, you know, so something to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll break down till August, the week before it starts. So a bit of a summer break for us, thank God. On this week's show, we'll be reviewing our 1-0 away loss to Nottingham Forest and previewing our final game of the season. It's mad the way 9 months has gone in, lads, against Wolves at home, and also on Friday we'll mark the 34th anniversary of the 1989 2-0 away win against Liverpool. Thomas! Eamonn does a better commentary on that. Brian Moore was the commentator that night.
Well, instead of singing us out tonight, I might do the commentary on that one.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one. Actually, yeah, I think we'll do that. Will we? Since it's the week, yeah, we'll get another 99 views off just for that alone. We go to the review of Saturday's 1-0 loss to Forest. Taiwo Awoniyi got the goal after 19 minutes. Pretty poor game. You know, Forest probably edged us. You know, they probably deserved it. You know. We just looked deflated, didn't we? It was just one of those games where sadly the players knew the league was over after last weekend, and some of them, there just wasn't that intensity that we saw over the last few months up to, you know, which is understandable. You know, it's a big downer after being in the title race for so long, and after, you know, the way we just went over it. But I thought Jorginho had a good first half and a good game overall. Odegaard's poor pass led to the goal, but you can't really fault him. He's been absolutely immense all season. You know, Martin Odegaard, a real cool captain. I saw a quote actually. That's just on a quote it out now. From Arteta. And I get it up here now. Actually, Jake Humphrey, the BT Sport presenter. I hate this narrative that Arsenal bottled it. They pushed one of the Premier League's greatest ever teams all the way, and done it with a young coach and young players who finished 5th last season. It's nothing but a success. They fell short. They'll be stronger for it. I thought that was a really nice, you know, quote from a good presenter, you know. But I can't really fault the lads in that display on Saturday. It was a poor performance, but the lads just look shot. You know, they look, Saka just looks knackered. A lot of them just look tired, probably because we finished second and we would have bitten anyone's arm off at the start of the season. I never saw it coming after last season, you know, and Twitter went into meltdown saying Arteta out, and you know, it's just ridiculous comments coming out. You know, the lads has given us so much optimism and hope for the coming years, not just for the next season. For, in my opinion, for the coming years, I've been skeptical, as you know, of Arteta But no, I have to say that defeat on Saturday, it was just down to really their heads were, their heads are just gone really after what's happened over the last couple of weeks. Eamon, I'll come to you first. What did you make of the match on Saturday?
Well, I'm not sure I'd agree that their heads were gone or anything like that. We were missing key players, but the first thing I'd say to you was, it was like Everton away again, but it didn't mean as much because we all knew the league was gone.
Yeah.
But when we lost to Everton in February, we were right at the top of things, and it was the same type of performance where we had like 83% possession and just couldn't break them down.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. Second thing I'd say is, in that game, the absence of Martinelli and Zinchenko was just so obvious. Because to break that type of system down that Forrest had, you need those two guys. You need Zinchenko causing confusion in the midfield, get the ball out to Martinelli, and we didn't have that.
Yeah.
And he tried to do it on the other side, and that backfired. I'll tell you why. Thomas Partey got in the way because Ben White and Saka have been such a great combination all season. Ben White was no longer playing at right full. Ben White overlaps. Ben White and Saka have wreaked havoc down that side, and Thomas Partey got in the way. And how many times did you see Odegaard and Partey nearly on the same ball trying to get out of each other's way? What I liked about the reaction after the game was the manager didn't hide. The manager said the end of the season and the way we wilted is his responsibility. Nobody else's, his responsibility. And remember, this guy is 40 years of age, right? In his first managerial job, he's taken us to second place in Champions League, but he's still not hiding. He's saying, it's my responsibility. And I like that. I question a few things. Eamonn Smith-Rowe didn't get on. What's that about? And I know that lad, I'm a great fan of that lad, but I know that his lifestyle has been questioned in the past. And I'm just wondering, is there something there? Because that lad is on the bench every week. So if he's on the bench every week, he's fit. And if he's fit, he should get on. And when he's fit and at it, he's a proper player. And I'm just wondering, is there a scenario where we might be holding him off as collateral to sell him to West Ham as part of the Declan Rice deal? I'm just wondering that. Okay.
Would you take that as a transfer?
Well, I don't want to see Eamonn Smith-Rowe leave the club.
Yeah.
But we don't see every day what everybody else sees.
Yeah.
So if he's not doing it at top level in training, and that has happened before, the manager might make a decision. And Mikel Arteta, I know he comes across as a lovely guy. He's ruthless.
Yeah.
And he has to be. Good managers have to be. And I'm just wondering, is there something there in the background? We brought on Fabio Vieira and he fell over. What do you do with him? I actually think he would probably be a really key player for us in the likes of the Champions League. I think the Premier League in the first season was too much for him. He's very light. He needs to do some serious strength and conditioning over the summer. And we've seen that with players before. And they've come back and been better. So my take on this is actually the result didn't matter a jot. I was very, very, very agitated watching it because, I hate when Arsenal lose. I hate when Arsenal lose in a pre-season game. I was really agitated watching it. But look, you learn, you move, and you build on it. I think the key things now is that there's all talk about on social media about Arsenal need to dismantle their squad. Would you give me a bloody break?
Yeah.
We need to get rid of a few guys whose races run at the club, and we need to buy well. And I think we'd probably move on 3 or 4 players and need to replace them with 6 or 7, because we're moving into the next phase of the project. Strengthen your squad. That's where you got to strengthen. Don't kind of go weeping saying, oh, we got so close and then we fell away. No, we're way above where we thought we'd get to. We were serious contenders this year. We ran out of squad. You build on that, and I think we can look forward with optimism. I really don't have a whole lot of analysis of the game on Saturday, because Forrest got their goal and they played a game that we just didn't look to have either the ability or the resolve to break down. But I think Martinelli and Zinchenko would have made a big difference in that regard, you know? So that's my take on it.
Who stood out for you, Eamonn, as your man of the match? For it was a tough, like last week.
Jorginho.
Yeah.
Again. Jorginho again was trying to get everything moving, and
Yeah.
he was the one. Like I was looking at. I had a temptation to get an abacus out, and I was looking at Ben White on the ball, who I love, by the way. Ben White on the ball, Gabriel on the ball, coming out of the defence. They're taking 9, 10, 11, 12 touches. You know, Jorginho was trying to make things happen. Trying to clip balls in behind to Saka, trying to do things a bit quicker. But look, it's just one of those things. I actually, in the greater scheme of things, it doesn't matter a great deal. But it was similar to the Everton game, which did matter a great deal. And it was just one of those things. So to me, 2 players that stood out were Aaron Ramsdale and Jorginho.
Yeah, I thought Ramsdale done really well. Yeah, he looked a bit disconsolate, didn't he, in the after-match interview as well. He says a lot of players have to hold their head up and you know, admit their own performances as well. You know, which he's pretty honest lad. And it was great to see last week he signed another long-term contract with us as well.
Just on the contracts, John, before you move on to my good friend and colleague John, if you look at the contracts, we've got Martinelli tied down.
Yeah.
We've got Ramsdale tied down. Saka is all but done. Saliba is key. Need to get that contract tied down. Ben White apparently is getting a new contract, so if that's the spine and the backbone of your team, you're in a good place to start, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Get them players tied down quickly, yeah, which I'm sure they will do over the summer. You know, I'm looking forward to the summer transfer window again. You know, John, thanks for coming on the show this week. A completely different result than when we met them at home back in October, 5-0. But as Eamonn said, Martinelli was a huge loss and he was a big figure in that game. But I think the season probably took their toll at the Brighton and Forest game. What did you make of the game on Saturday yourself?
I'll take the game on its own value. I think at the Brighton game we played a flat back 4, and we didn't have that inverted midfield as Zinchenko that we've had all season, and it told. It really did tell. And I think, as Eamonn said, he tried to do something different from the right-hand side by playing Partey as an inverted right back. And it didn't work. It's the first time we tried it. It might be something more trying again if you have the personnel. We just don't have the personnel to try it.
Yes.
He tried doing something different. Trossard and Jesus, they seem to take up similar spaces as well. I think when Forrest played with basically every man behind the ball. You've got to try and flex the game and try and get behind them. Trossard comes inside, whereas Eamonn says Martinelli's up and down that wing all day long. Yeah. And he tortures that fullback all day long. Yeah. It would have been nice if Trossard and Jesus had switched positions, because Jesus has played out left before.
Yeah.
See if he could have stretched it. And Trossard, he's a good player inside, but he never stretched on the outside. I think that's something he could have tried. We lost the game to one mistake, one bad pass from Odegaard. Quick break, which is what they were trying to do all season, all through the game. In fairness to them, they got a lot of pace. I thought Gabriel was very unlucky with the goal. He got to the ball and it took a deflection off the guy. A very unlucky finish. These things happen. But as I said, he just couldn't break them down. We looked like a team that's dead on its feet. Absolutely dead on its feet. Jorginho, you're right. He tried to push the game. And point about Ben White and everyone else coming out of the back taking touch after touch after touch after touch. But I want to give Forrest a little bit of credit because he got the defensive side of the game absolutely spot on. He gave him nothing to work with. Everything was like, right, try and chip them. As you said, try and find that little space behind them. But there wasn't much there. Saka got behind them once in the second half, brought up a decent save from the keeper. But there really wasn't a lot there for 82% of the possession. It's something we've talked about back when Wenger was in charge. Need of a plan B. Maybe if we had a big lump of a striker, someone with a bit of height up front. Jesus could have maybe fed on the scraps around that, but we didn't have that. It just looked like a tired end of season team, tired end of season game. They had more on the game than we had. I'm not losing the head over it. I think we all know at this stage what we need to do to improve the squads, and it's all about squad depth at the moment. We proved over the first 3 quarters of the season, their first 11 is good enough to have a go at the title. But unfortunately, to have a go at the title, you need 18, 19 players. Man City made 9 changes for the game on Saturday. Their game on Saturday. We can't do that. No other team in the league can do that. So it just goes to show you that kind of strength and depth. You're talking about Arteta being a young manager and learning. I think he's learning all the time. I think he looked back on this season, he probably said, could I rotate it more? Maybe. But Saka's played every game for the last 2 or 3 years because there's no one else to play that position. And he looks dead on his feet. I nearly hope he pulls a hamstring or something next week and gets the summer off. Doesn't have to play any ridiculous England international. Give him the 2 months off. Because I think he needs it. The Saliba contract is huge. You're right. We don't have anyone else that can play like that. I don't think there's another centre half in England can play like he can at the moment. I'd be amazed if Liverpool and Man United aren't sniffing around now. He hasn't signed his contract. Let's have a sniff around that because Van Dijk is not the player he was, and he'd be a player that Liverpool would drill over. He's a player any team would drill over. And unfortunately, I think him and his agent have us over the barrel. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we.
John, I think Saliba will either sign for us or go back abroad.
I hope what happens. I hope it goes abroad. But he's the one I'll be worried about. I think Saka will sign, which would be good. But like I said, I'd love to see him get the summer off. But going back about the way you said about Vieira, he's an interesting player, Vieira. I think when they signed him, I think they thought maybe he could have filled in a few positions. He came as a number 10, but he's only played 1 game for us this season where he had the first team around him as a number 10, and that was away to Brentford. And he was excellent. He had a superb game, and we beat them 3-0 at their place. And that was only a couple of weeks after they wiped the floor with Man United. Every other game he's played for us, it's either been our position or with a second string around him in cup matches and Europa League games. So I don't think we've seen the best of him. I think there's a player there. I don't know whether he can fill in other positions. I think he's an out-and-out number 10, which will come in handy because I don't think Odegaard can play 40, 50 games next season. And he's gonna need to give him a break, and he could be the ideal replacement for Odegaard, provided he has a first 11 around him and not just a second string. So, and I'm only basing that on 1 game, that's Brentford away, because he was excellent. That's with Saliba, Zinchenko, Xhaka at his best, Saka at his best, Jesus. Early in the season, he was superb, and Vieira fitted in brilliantly with all of them. So I'm basing everything on that. It's a disappointing end to the season, but we've got to remember just how good that first 11 was, how the kind of football we did play, how exciting it was. And back to Eamonn's point in Arteta, he's learning. He knows he needs a plan B. He knows he needs a bigger squad. He knows he needs to be able to vary the game. He knows he needs to be able. He needs to learn to play with rotating his squad, and he's learning all the time. And every time you see him learn, we get better. So it's gonna, as Johnny said, it's gonna be a really interesting summer. I think it's gonna be some incredible transfers, not just by us, but by everybody. And I'm looking forward to August. I'm really looking forward to the start of the season.
How many years is it, John, since we said that?
It's been a long time. It has been a long time. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was reminiscing about the 2007-2008 season, and how that young team came so close to winning the league. Yeah. And in exactly the same way, they fell away because of injuries, because of a lack of strength and depth. Unfortunately, that team this disappeared really quickly because of players leaving and contracts running out. And I'm hopeful that we can keep the basis of this young side together.
Well, if we go back then, John, Matthew Flamini left, which was a massive thing, right? Adebayor just decided to put his head up his own arse.
He got a serious injury. Eduardo broke a leg.
Yeah.
The team just seemed to fall apart just when you were saying, "Oh my God, what a side that was." I'm hoping this side can be kept together and added to, and I'm hopeful for it. I am, for the first time in a long time. I'm hopeful that happens. Doesn't mean we're going to win the league next year, but I'm hoping we can maintain another challenge. Because if you challenge every year, sooner or later you're going to strike gold. Liverpool have shown that Liverpool, to their credit, have had 5 or 6 incredible seasons with a great side, a great coach. They've only won the league once, and they've pushed Man City all the way. It's not easy to beat this Man City side. Anyone says that we bottled it, threw it away, wake up and smell the roses. This is an incredible Man City side. We can complain about how they're funded. We can complain about how much money they have to spend, but you've got to face up to it. That's the challenge you've got to beat. We had a go at it this year. I think we'll be a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser next season. And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's just the most optimistic I've heard of John on season.
Yeah, it is. You have to be optimistic after this season, Johnny. I mean, let's be honest. If we done what Newcastle have done this season and finished third, they're 18 points behind us.
Yeah, that's just looking at it.
You may be over the moon to finish third back in August. What's disappointing is because of how close we got to the league and how it's fallen away. That's what's disappointing. But there's reasons for that. Players
inexperience probably of not being in that position. A lot of them players didn't.
As well. Sometimes you've got to lose one before you win one.
Yeah.
The very first Premier League title, Manchester United won. They should have won the league before that.
Yeah.
They fell away because they didn't know how to do it. Following year, they came back stronger and they won it.
They won, yeah.
Different times, different financial situations.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to lose one to win one. So I'm hoping that's what happens. You just got to keep challenging. All I want from an Arsenal side is to keep playing attacking football, having a go, not being afraid. And they haven't been afraid of anyone this season.
No.
They've been beaten. They've been beaten by a really good Man City side.
But it's funny, John. A lot of guys I talk to, I'm still playing a bit of ball, and they're supporters of other clubs, and clubs that we don't necessarily have too much time for and all that. But they're all saying to me, "Are you disappointed about the Arsenal?" I said, "Of course I am." But I said all season we'd probably run out of squad, which we did. And they're saying, but the one thing that they've all said to me is, "But you played great football this year." Arsenal played great football this year.
They stuck to their guns. They played there. They always played the football, no matter how bad they were. They always tried to play their own football. It takes balls to do that. It does. Even when it's not working, it takes balls to stick to your principles.
Stick to your principles.
Like I said, you gotta look forward. Don't be. It's understandable to be disappointed. But what disappointed was such a different reason to be what the last season. We were so good in the last season not to finish in top 4. We fell out for exactly the same reason. Players got injured, squad wasn't big enough. This year the squad was a little bit bigger and we had to go with it. The league title, The league title. We had a chance. I wasn't chasing top 4. We had that sound up in the bar back in January. We were chasing the title. The first time in God knows how long.
25th.
I'm trying to be positive, and I think it's far easier to be positive than this.
The last time we were close to winning the league, John, was when Leicester won it 2015-16. And look at Leicester tonight. If they lose, they're going to go down to the Championship. It's funny how, we should have really won it that year. In my opinion, I thought we were definitely a lot better than them.
Yeah, that team hasn't shown the same confidence in the principles the manager set down as this team has.
Oh yeah, 100%. This team would have walked. Yeah, like we're only one win. If we win on Sunday, John, sorry for cutting across you, we'll have won 26 games in a season, which is what the Invincibles won back in. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad for the team that everyone's saying is shit and full of bottles. Get rid of them all the team, get rid of the manager. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
People are disappointed because we didn't win a league title. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. No one would have thought that back in August.
We were the only team that put it up to Man City all season.
Hold on, lads. In the great 1998 season, when we won the double, we won the league with 78 points.
78 points,
Yeah, that's it's just so hard to compete. Yeah. I think, it's like the games we've lost, as John says, we've been well and truly beaten in them.
There's games we can complain about. Everton away.
Yeah, but as Eamonn said last week, the pitch was a disgrace.
Last week, disappointing as well, the way that went.
But losing away to Man United was the one where I felt that we actually played them off the park and didn't get the rub of the green that day.
If that disallowed goal went in, we would have beaten them.
After getting the equaliser, we got very aggressive there.
Yeah.
Where we should have just held it. I mean, we're watching the game with Eamonn. Would you take the draw now? I really wanted to win. Yeah. Well, you could see what was coming. I really wanted to win. They picked us off a couple of times in the break. Maybe a little bit of experience, but we were so good at it.
Yeah.
So good at it. Yeah. And that's where you're looking. That's the future. Instead of having 11 players that can play that, you want 17, 18 players that can do that.
Exactly.
And the point
you want to be looking at your bench, John and Jonathan. You want to be looking at your bench and looking at 5 or 6 guys who are as good as the guys who are on the pitch.
If I can jump in on your point on Emile Smith-Rowe, I'm worried about that situation. If you think back to last season, him and Martinelli fought over that left wing spot. And they were both excellent. One had a poor game, the other guy come in, very exceptional. And they pushed each other, and I think they pushed each other really, really well. The injury obviously didn't do Smith-Rowe any favours, but he's come back. He's on the bench. We've all been waiting for him to get game time, and it hasn't happened. Is it because there's something going on in the background that we don't know about? Is it because Arteta just wanted to keep Martinelli going because he was playing so well, he was so vital to us? I don't know, but I've been very surprised we haven't seen that much on him.
Well, the answer to that question, John, is it because Martinelli was playing? Martinelli wasn't available, so play Smith-Rowe. But I actually think there's been a kind of an undercurrent about Smith-Rowe's.
I've heard it. He's like, as you said, he's died.
When I say lifestyle, I don't think it's out like cavorting and carousing. I think it's more his diet and stuff,
Yeah, exactly. And he's been honest about that himself.
Yeah.
He has been honest about it, but I'm still surprised we haven't seen that much on him, and I'd be worried he could be one to let go.
I really think, with Smith-Rowe, they look at him as a 40 million player.
Yeah.
And we're all screaming out for him to do this, that, and the other in the transfer market, and I think he will be used as 40 million either to get money in or as collateral against someone to
make way. Yeah. I'm unfortunately, I'm on board with you. I think that could happen.
We can't have it all, lads.
As you said, he has to be real. Has to be realist.
Yeah.
Smith-Rowe has
the project has to go. Yeah.
We'll never know whether he could have added to the squad this season. Whether he could have added to the team. It's done. The season's over. But questions are being. I mean, we're just fans. Trust me, we're not the only fans having this conversation.
The lad could come back in pre-season and set the world on fire. And if he does, he's one of ours and great. But I would not be devastated to see him go.
It could be as simple as that, Eamonn. It could be as simple as Arteta's looking at the injury and says, "No, he needs more time to recover. I want him part of the I want him part of the daytime squad. I want him around the first team. I want him involved with the first team. I just don't think he's ready to be part of it." It could be something as simple as that.
But John, how could you not be ready from a groin injury that was fixed at Christmas?
Was it fixed? This is what, as I said, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How serious was the injury? How serious was the operation he went under? You know, maybe he's just, when Martinelli came back from his injury, he treated him with kid gloves, and he gave him a long time.
Yeah, but he's a lot younger, John, at that time.
Yeah.
You know, I just think Smith Rowe was a ready-made Premiership superstar, and he's not getting minutes. So that tells me all I need to know.
I'm on board with you, Eamonn. I'm just throwing other scenarios out there. We just don't know, and the summer will tell. The summer will tell. I fear he could be done as well.
Yeah, but if he goes, he goes.
Yeah.
Move on. You have to move on. We were all devastated when Newcastle left, but we had to move on. You have to move on.
No, but if he goes, we're going to get good money for him.
Yeah.
And we're all talking about. I mean, if you listen to some of the careless kickaballs on whatever it is, social media sites they use, so they want to sign every careless kickaball. Like, you know, Casado from Brighton. Oh yeah, 85 million. Like, let's get real here, right?
I'll give you another scenario, Eamonn.
I think he would really suit West Ham, John.
Yeah, I'll give you another scenario, Eamonn. Just the operation wasn't that good a success.
What's that?
And the operation wasn't that much of a success. And Arteta's kept him on the bench and kept everyone thinking he's fully fit when he isn't. Sell it for 40 million in the summer and let someone else worry about it.
Yeah.
That could be clever management as well.
Absolutely.
You know, you just don't know. We just don't know.
Sell a crock to somebody, you know?
Yeah.
But we did with Rocastle, and we still love Rocastle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, look,
it's on
that's all ahead of us.
It's going to be an interesting summer, for sure, yeah. John, just to wrap up the Forest game again, who stood out for yourself?
It's difficult. As I said, I thought Eamonn's right. Jorginho was the one midfielder who tried to force the game. I mean, you could see him trying to, come on, quicker.
Yeah, I like that. I have to say, I like that in him since he's joined. He kind of gives you that, you know.
He's a clever signing. Don't get me wrong. He's a squad player for me next season. He's a decent squad player.
Decent.
And I like Gabriel. I really like his attitude. He stands up. He's in there for the fight. I like him as a defender.
Yeah.
I think he's been outstanding for us this season. I think Saliba has benefited by having him beside him. Everyone talks about Saliba. But I think he's benefited by having someone like Gabriel beside him as well. So those two players for me. Those, you know. But the game that was in it, like, it wasn't a great game, but those two were the ones that stood out. Yeah,
Jorginho for me as well. Yeah. Just over the last few games when it's kind of been falling apart, he was the one that tried to keep everyone together, you know.
I've become a real fan. I have become a real fan of Jorginho, you know.
I wasn't really, you know, because he always kept fucking scoring penalties against us for Chelsea. But I kind of grown to love the man, you know. Like that experience.
Oh, but you can see his attitude is fourth class.
Yeah, it's like Marco Verratti. It's hard to put a word on it, but it's just passion, isn't it? It's just raw, you know. Like, and he gets them going, doesn't he? Like, he can get players going when their heads are dropping, and yeah.
But he can also pass the ball.
Well, he's got feet. Charlie Venables, he's got feet.
The few Chelsea fans, you know, have been coming up to me. That's not the Jorginho we've seen for the last year. They've been looking at him, and I said he's playing in a team that's more progressive than Chelsea.
Exactly, yeah. And
a side that knows what it's doing, or knows what its principles are, knows how it wants to play. They're looking at that Jorginho and said, "It's not the Jorginho we've seen the last year to 18 months." So
very clever signing, though. I have to say,
He's got fight.
Yeah, he's no face. He has no face, but he definitely has.
He's got fight. He can go high and low and that. He's got fight and he's got an head.
All the great attributes of a top player, that.
He's got an head. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was disappointing. It wasn't a great game at all. Let's be honest about it.
Move on. It was crap.
Yeah, it was absolutely one that will be forgotten very quickly, I think. That leaves the second, guaranteed second, Henry, and that's something. And most important of all, guaranteed Champions League football. This time, 3 months' time. 4 months' time, sorry, we'll be looking at the group stages of the Champions League, which is great to see.
Fuck, I wish we were back in the Europa League.
Well, this is what we signed up to, lads.
What are we going to do on a Thursday now? Thursday was a great night to go out.
Yeah.
I miss that BT Sports song they had Thursday now. No, yeah, it was great. Yeah,
we're playing on Tuesday night. I'll have to miss Telly Bingo.
Yeah, the win, lads. As we know, City wrapped it up yesterday. But the win currently leaves the 37 played, 25-1, drew 6, lost 6, and scored 83, which was nice to see, going up every season since Arteta took over. 43 conceded, so plus 50 there.
They've scored a lot of goals without a 20-goal striker.
Yeah.
Scored a lot of goals. Those goals are spread well around the side.
Well around the side, yeah, because the nearest one would have been, I think, Odegaard, isn't he? I think he's top scorer, is he?
14, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's impressive for a guy in his position.
Yeah.
So when you can look at what Haaland's done, which is ridiculous,
yeah,
and how Liverpool have relied on Salah over the last few years, and how much that lot up the road rely on their number 9, and United rely on Rashford. We didn't have a 20-goal striker this season, and we still scored over 80 goals. That's impressive.
Yeah,
there's goals in this side.
Yeah,
just saying.
Young and hungry. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why you want in a team, disperse the goals, and not rely on one, especially when Jesus was missing for pretty much a good part of the season.
He was brilliant, Johnny. The chances.
I thought he was brilliant on Saturday as well. He keeps going.
I've seen him have better games, Johnny, but he doesn't.
He doesn't give up, though.
When it's not down for him, he never stops.
No, he doesn't give up, but his touch was all over the place.
Yeah, it wasn't his best game, but he never stops. I think
he'll come good. He never gives the next season. He'll come good. Yeah.
You're gonna have games like that. The last thing you want is to see a player drop and stop trying. He's always trying.
Yeah.
You can't fault him on that. You can never fault the guy on that.
I can't, being honest with you, I said at the start of the show, I can't fault any of them this season. They've given us, fans are very quick.
Given everything you had, Johnny.
Yeah.
They've given more.
For a team that was never involved, Bart, Zinchenko and Jesus in a title run in, we played like champions, us upset, but look,
I said it last week on the show. They allowed us to dream again.
Yeah.
The dream is over, and it was a beautiful season. The emotion and the passion and everything else. Let's just carry it into the summer, build the squad again, and go again. We're not going away. You hear all these gobshites, Carragher, Lawrenson, all these gobshite pundits, gobshites. They don't know the game. They don't understand the game. But I'll tell you what, here's all the thing. Chelsea are going to get better. Liverpool are going to get better. Them clubs are in a different state than we are. We have challenged for the league title. And we don't need to be worried about them. We need to worry about us. And just add a bit more to the squad. And we are right up there at the very top. And I'm saying that to all the naysayers. Mr. Gunnery, where I'm just saying, right? Stop worrying about Chelsea and Liverpool, because all these gobshites, lazy TV pundits. Arsenal bottled it, and next season they won't even get in the top 4. Give me a break. We are right where we need to be. In fact, ahead of where we thought we'd be, and right where we need to be.
100%.
It's great. It's great to see the optimism back, because I haven't seen this in a long time,
Optimism. We don't do optimism around here.
Definitely not this show, isn't it? This is the first time I think we've said that we don't need a big name manager now.
You've had a show put depression and optimism. Geez, you can't get much more wide ranging than that, can you?
I've got the Samaritans on the line there now.
Absolutely. And the mantra is every silver lining has a cloud. As
he drinks his beer Moretti. We move on, lads, to the preview of our last game of the season, which is it's been a quick 9 months. God, it's just to say it is. I think it's because we've had such a good season, it's flown by. Not much to moan about at all, which is always a positive sign as an Arsenal fan. Wolves at home, you'd expect the team relax now and go out and give us, enjoy the game and give us a good end of the season, 3 or 4-0 win. Wolves in their own right out there, they've had a decent enough when their own manager took over in November. I think they were bottom with 10 points, so he's turned them around in fairness to them. We won 2-0, I think it was in November that game. Odegaard got 2. Really good away performance, actually. And I can see something similar on Sunday. I think they'll give us a good farewell game. I'd go with probably 3 or 4-0 here. I think there's no pressure now, and they can bow their, they can hold their heads high, the lads. John, how do you see the game going Sunday? You'll be yourself, won't you?
I'm hopeful for the party atmosphere. As you say, the Wolves fans will be delighted they're staying up. They've had a good second half of the season. I'm hoping their fans are on board with where we've been coming, optimistic for the summer. The sun will be shining. The team will have their new kit. Hopefully, it'll look a lot better on them than it does on you, Johnny. And I'm hoping. 45 written and stuff. I'm hoping the team, as you said, I hope the players are relaxed. I hope the atmosphere is high. I hope they come out with a bounce in their step, and I hope we taunt them 5-0. Yeah. Sunny game at the Emirates. Say goodbye to them. Give them the round of applause they deserve. Give them the lap of appreciation that they've earned. Yeah. And wish them all the best for the summer. Come back to us fresh, fit, and roll on. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the weekend because I'm down to the game.
Yeah, same here, John. Yeah, I'm still on the lookout for a ticket, so fingers crossed.
Have your bag. You're on the band list. Have you not seen? You've not get the memo. Even the pubs, I've got your picture sent to all the bars around the ground as well. Your bars. You'd be like a hobo around the place. You have no. John, the hotels don't even want you. Sleep on the street.
John's next appearance will be May 15, 2024. So I look forward to when he has a bit of hair in his head in years' time. So does John. On a positive note, I go to Eamonn. How do you see the game going?
I think there's actually going to be snow. I think they're going to have to grip the roads. We'll be looking to get in there with the ice. It's going to be a very dark cloud over the stadium. Okay, look, I actually think we win 4-1 because we won't keep a clean sheet in the last day of the season. There's no chance, right? Yeah. But I think the players will put on something for the fans. And I think the fans will respond accordingly. When you come out after 3-0 loss to Brighton and you're walking down the stairs at the Emirates and the fans are still chanting, that tells you what the atmosphere and the connection is like there. So I think we'll win the game 3 or 4-1, a bit like the Everton game last season.
Yeah.
When we won at the end, and we'll give the players the send off that they deserve.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just love something like the Everton game last season. Wasn't we won 5-1 the last day? They deserve. So
the thing I'm getting at here now was right. Everybody's expecting sunshine and good times. I'm telling you, there's an east wind coming in from Vladivostok. and that will put an end to your gallop, John, really.
Oh, thanks very much.
Mr. Red arrived in. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ed Shannon. He arrived into the King's Head there the other day, and it was 24 degrees heat. But he had a kind of a monkey cap like something now, the bridge on the river, with 4 layers. Did you chat to him about that, Jonathan?
I did, yeah. He says he took the Eurostar train.
From Siberia.
In Reykjavik. Anyway, look,
he came from the battlefield.
I'm on 4-1. I'm going 4-1 for the Arsenal.
I've got already a bet on Diego Costa to be sent off for riding up Gabriel.
I'm going 4-1 to the Arsenal with a McDonald hat-trick and a Stapleton fourth and Derek Dougan to maybe get one for the Wolves.
So
I think we take you off that Bernard Moretti.
yeah. No, authentic Eamonn
I
Donnelly.
recommend.
Watching too much of that big match we visited. That's what you're doing.
4-1 for the Arsenal with a hat-trick for Rob Holding.
Okay, well, I'll take that as well.
Yeah.
Why not?
To shave off the burners as well. Yeah, there'll be a few tears shed. A lot of those players that will be doing the lap of appreciation, but probably won't be seen again. You know, next. Yeah.
Who do you think they'll be?
So there's a question. Do you want to have that? Do you want to save that for another podcast?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll say. Yeah, no, actually, we'll save that for June the 5th.
But the viewers might want to think about that. There's one now between now and the next podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
actually, viewers and listeners actually on Spotify and on the YouTube channel, leave in the comment box who do you feel.
Yeah, who do you think will be gone? Yeah.
That's a good one, Eamonn. Actually, get the viewers involved. Yeah, so there's your homework, lads, for the next couple of weeks.
You're supposed to be hosting the show, John.
I'm sick of carrying this show, lads. I've been under immense strain. I can't get a psychologist anywhere. They keep referring me. They keep referring me to the Bernard Moretti. I'd like to say, lads, as well, the final piece of Emirates Stadium artwork was unveiled today. I don't know whether you saw it on the website.
Online, yeah. Looking at it online.
Found a place where we belong, the supporters, and it looks really good, John, doesn't it? Looks real top.
All of them look fantastic.
Yeah. I did a walk around, actually, I was there last Monday. I stayed over to Sunday night, and I spent an hour last Monday just going around the stadium, because when it's busy on match day, you don't really see, you know, but the artwork's been it's been a great feature to see, you know, it's just given a bit more extra, hasn't it?
I love the old artwork, I really did, and I wondered what they were going to do when he said they were going to change it. I think they've done a fantastic job. It looks, it really does. Looks fantastic.
The old Highbury artwork is nice, isn't it? Yeah.
The whole thing is unique. It's a tribute to the past, the future.
Yeah.
The men's team, the women's team, the fans, not just local fans, but global fans. I think they've done a fantastic job of it.
Yeah, I'd just like to say a shout out as well. The Arsenal women lost 2-0 yesterday to the Chelsea women, but they've given us a great season as well alongside the men, haven't they? So
unlucky with injuries. I mean, oh my God, they lose the 5 biggest names to ACL injuries. It's unheard of. In the men's game or the women's game, they're very unlucky. And they almost got to the Champions League final. Hopefully, still finish top 4 or top 3. Sorry, so they can get to the Women's Champions League next season.
Yeah,
they've been so unlucky. How good would they? How close could they have got to everything if they'd had a full squad?
It's just
so similar to the men's team. It's unreal. Those injuries have been severe. Not just sprains, the ACLs. You know, 7, 8, 9 months out. They've been so close in the team that they deserve an awful lot of credit for going as close as they have.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah, Jonas Eideveld, the manager, has done a great job with them, and I have to say best of luck to our own Katie McCabe for the Women's World Cup coming up as well in Australia.
Yeah, the last World Cup was brilliant. I really enjoyed watching it and look forward to as much of this as I can. The times are going to be different, obviously, when they're being played in Australia. But I look forward to watching the Irish ladies play for the first time.
And they're playing actually against Northern Ireland in the Aviva in the Nations League. It's the first time to be playing there in September, so it shows how much the women's team have come on, you know, and to be playing in such great stadia is testament to them, you know, how far they've come, and very best of luck to them in the future. They deserve the stage, and they deserve the support from men, women, and children. You know, they've been testament to them, and they don't really get enough recognition. But Sky, BBC, and BT have done a great job the last 2 seasons, giving them the coverage. You know.
Well, I'll give a shout out to our own Marion Leahy, former treasurer of the Supporters Club. She's retired now, living in Spain. She's a former captain of the Irish ladies team back in the late 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And some of the stories she told me what they had to do, you know, changing the toilets, you know,
Yeah.
Never had their own kit. They didn't want to put up in hotels. To where they are now, she must be absolutely overjoyed to see where the women's game is content. Maybe a little bit jealous that she's missed out on it, but she's part of that. She's part of that football history.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's thrilled to see what the women's game has turned into.
Here.
And a shout out as well to our past women's goalkeeper, who was also Irish, Emma Bourne. She done a lot for the game here as well, you know, from League Slip actually. Emma Bourne, yeah. So she does a good bit of commentary, actually, co-commentary in some of the women's games as well, I noticed. So she's doing well, and that's in the media side, so well deserved there as well. Yeah, it's just a shout out as well. Going towards next season, just thought I'd give the Arsenal fanzine on match day Gun Flash a shout out from Basil Hatch and all. It's £28, which is about 30 odd euro for the Gun Flash subscription for the season. 5 issues you get for that. It is a good read. I'm sure you've bought it the odd time. There's the latest issue there.
Yeah. Back in the day, I used to get it a lot. Yeah.
It's on volume 73 now, which is incredible.
The oldest fanzine in the world, Johnny.
1949. Yes, I didn't know that until yeah. It's a read. It is actually a great read. We've been mentioning it a few times as well. The Dublin Nurses Sports Club. So, it's only what £3.50.
What are you wanted for? What are you wanted for? What else are you barred from that we don't know about?
I have to say, John Meany seems to feature in it a lot of complaints about. Why is he on this podcast so sporadically with comments like that? I let him go away tonight and think about it and clean out that tongue of it. No, I just have to say, it's been a great season, lads. I hope you've enjoyed being on it week on week. You know, it's a great way to definitely kill an hour, but
month by month.
It's for John months a month. No, like we're getting great feedback from everyone. You know, especially your mate Neil Egan, Eamonn, and a few others. You know, we've had a few new faces to the show as well. So it's nice to get a good panel of different opinions. I think that's what makes it different. You know. Is there anything else, lads, you'd like to shout out for this week on the show?
We covered a lot.
No, all good. Just let's finish with the fact that Friday is the 26th of May.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just before Eamonn sings us out.
It was Friday the 26th of May of that great day, you know.
You can catch our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. The show will be up in the next few hours, if not tomorrow. Check out The Last Man with Martin Stoneville. Balon Sports Direct is our sponsor for now. Thanks to them. JustArsenal.com is Pat McLaughlin, our friends there, and the River Bar is where you can catch all the matches. Thanks to John and Eamonn, and Eamonn's on to do that iconic piece of commentary.
Well, it was Friday the 26th of May 1989, and David Pleat, co-commentator, said the following: and if Arsenal don't win the league, it's somewhat poetic justice that they'll win here at Anfield after their efforts this season. And then Brian Moore takes over. Barnes, he can go all the way, but he's defied by Richardson. Now, surely what must be the last attack for Arsenal? Dixon with a good-looking ball to Smith. Thomas charging through the midfield. It's up for now. Thomas!
Yes! Right memory. Right memory.
Charging through the midfield. Yeah, there you go.
Before we wrap up, lads, where were you at that very moment? John, you first.
I had just turned 19. I was sitting at home watching it with my father and my Liverpool supporting brother. I literally, not a word of a lie, I screamed the house down. The neighbours came in to make sure everything was all right. He thought it was a riot. He thought it was killing someone. I went ballistic, as you can imagine, and then collapsed in a heap. An emotional wreck. 19 years of age, and my trauma had started. Absolutely, I'll never forget it. My brother never lets me forget it. In fairness, he's a Liverpool fan. I never let him forget it.
Yeah, that's great.
Incredible way to finish the season. Incredible way to win the league. can't be topped. You just can't top it. Just can't.
It will never happen again. Eamon, where were you at that moment, Big E Thomas?
This is an absolute shit show, right? So, I became an Arsenal fan at age 5.5 in 1971. So, in 1989, I was 23 years of age. I was playing in a band, a good in Fingers, a good funk soul band, all that, you know. And they had the screen down for the game. And after Alan Smith scored, they pulled the screen up and told us to go on.
Oh my God.
Now, I had set the video timer for the game, for the entire game, right? And that's good. And remember, there was no mobile phones or teletext back in 1989, nothing like that. And I didn't know who won the game because everybody who was at the gig was at the gig. I went home to my mum's, where I lived at the time. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I put the game on. I fast forwarded to where we were. And at about 20 to 3 in the morning, I let a yelp. Fantastic. Yay! And then the video cut off.
Oh,
Because the game was delayed by 10 minutes to allow for and the video timer went off. So I woke up the next morning, talk about an anticlimax. I woke up the next morning and I went down to they didn't have centres then. They had a couple of news agents and things that I knew opened at 8 a.m. So I read the Daily Mirror at 8 a.m. to find out we'd won the
remember
game.
that paper, yeah. Remember actually the hell, yeah, yeah. So I read it.
Yeah.
Put the cover
Yeah.
of got us.
Yeah. So, you know, that was me.
Yeah. Of course,
There you go.
the legend that was David Rocastle was part of that winning team, wasn't he? Yeah, never be forgotten. Yeah, what great memories when you win games like that. Yeah. Thanks to Eamon and John tonight. It's been a pleasure having you on. Our next show will be next Tuesday, the 30th of May, where we'll be hopefully reviewing a good solid home win to finish the season off. But until then, have a great week, lads, and I'll talk to you then.
Take care.
Thanks, lads. God bless. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, lads.
See you later.